A high-stakes battle inside the European Union just took an unexpected turn. Hungary's Viktor Orban has gone public, mocking, warning, and drawing a hard line over frozen Russian assets. What Brussels calls financial leverage, Orban calls a red line towards war. At a tense EU summit in Brussels, a controversial plan collapsed. The proposal used $210 billion in frozen Russian central bank assets as collateral for loans to Ukraine. Despite intense pressure from the European Commission, the deal failed. Hungary, backed by several allies, slammed the brakes, stopping the plan cold. Within hours, Viktor Orban took the fight online. Posting a video styled like the cult classic Ghostbusters, Orban cast himself and his allies as saviors of Europe. EU leaders backing the loan were mocked as ghosts. The message was unmistakable. This wasn't compromise, it was confrontation. Orban didn't stop at satire. He warned that seizing Russian assets would amount to a declaration of war. His argument, Europe holds less Russian money than European firms hold inside Russia, exposing the bloc to retaliation. In Orban's words, the costs would be devastating and unavoidable.
Aztán vannak ugye a nagy európai tradíciók. Hát azért Oroszországot támadta meg már mondjuk Napóleon, nem? Meg Hitler. Nekik nem ment, majd most Kaja Kallasznak sikerül nyilván ez a gondolat. Európának képesnek kell lennie arra, hogy saját magát megvédje. De a konvencionális fegyverek esetében, a határvillongások tekintetében, a gazdasági háborúk esetében elég erősnek kell lennie Európának ahhoz, hogy megvédje saját magát. Ma az a baj, hogy minden egyes döntéssel nem erősebbé, hanem gyengébbé tesszük magunkat. Erre a legjobb példa az, amiről most itt beszélünk. Ukrajna nem hozzátesz Európa erejéhez, hanem elvesz belőle. Nekünk nem az ukrán hadsereget kell finanszírozni, nekünk Ukrajna nyugati oldalán lévő országok hadseregeit kell megerősíteni, nekünk az európai országok hadseregeit kell megerősíteni, az európai hadipart kell megerősíteni azért, hogyha bármilyen baj van, Európa ne legyen kiszolgáltatva senkinek. Ez volna a cél.
The blockade revealed deep fractures inside the European Union. Belgium, Italy, Slovakia, the Czech Republic all expressed fears of legal, financial, and geopolitical fallout. Behind closed doors, concerns grew over lawsuits, market trust, and retaliation. What was pitched as unity instead exposed hesitation. From Moscow, the response was swift. President Vladimir Putin warned that tapping frozen Russian assets would backfire, damaging Western credibility. Russia has already launched legal action against Euroclear and signaled more cases may follow.
Theft is the secret appropriation of property, but in our situation they're trying to do it openly. That's outright robbery. This isn't just a blow to their image, it's a complete undermining of trust, in this particular case, for the entire Eurozone.
No matter how they stole it, or by what means they acquired it, they will eventually have to return it. And beyond all of that, we are going to protect our own interests. And where will we do that? Primarily in the courts of law.
We'll try to find a jurisdiction that's independent of political decisions. He is an artist and a talented one at that. I speak without any irony. Now we know this from his films, even from the old days. So there's nothing particularly unusual about this situation. Well, they say that Stella looks completely different these days, but that's not really the main point. Stella is located approximately a kilometer away from the city itself. So why are we just standing around at the doorstep?
Come inside. In the new security strategy, the national security strategy of NATO, Russia is not specified as an enemy. The NATO Secretary General is preparing us for war with us. What is this? Well, can't you read? How can you say that NATO is pushing for, aiming for war with Russia, if the main NATO country doesn't consider us an adversary and an enemy? the European political elites were here supporting the Democratic Party and Ms. Harris in the election for President of the United States. They did this quite bluntly, if not to say brazenly. When Trump was accused of Russia's election interference, nothing was confirmed. All congressional investigations yielded nothing. There was no cooperation, no Russian meddling. But Europe's political elites interfered, and quite directly. They, even now I believe, are counting on the fact that after the midterm elections in the United States Congress, in the autumn of next year, the political landscape will somewhat shift and change, and their traditional allies will then appear, and they will be able to exert significantly more pressure on President Trump. That's why they act this way, awaiting changes in the US the political landscape ahead of the congressional elections. These threats, we are determined to eliminate them, and everyone must fully grasp this important point and be completely aware of the gravity of the situation, that actions of this aggressive and hostile nature will simply lead to an unprecedented escalation of the conflict, one that has not been witnessed before, and will elevate it to an entirely different and much more dangerous level, expanding it into a full-scale, large-scale armed confrontation. The utilitarian goal is actually to increase insurance premiums. This won't lead to the expected result. In the end, it won't disrupt any supplies. In the end, right? And it will only create additional threats. Our response will certainly follow.